I'm so excited because today is 8. Oops, I'm sorry. I hear an echo. Can you hear an echo?
I did.
Okay, I apologize for that. So 8 represents the number of prosperity, abundance, and surplus. People say the Chinese love it. I love the number 8 because it's my life path number. That means it's the number that tells me what my purpose in life is. So we'll talk about life path numbers later. Right now, we have a very special guest, somebody you all love, you've been asking me about, is none other than Dave XRP Lyon. He is a forensic tax expert and a forensic accountant. He is used to dealing with people that have massive wealth. So we're so excited to have him today. Without any further ado, welcome, Dave. We're so happy to have you. I'm going to turn the floor completely over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kia. It is like before we get started, everybody, we had just a few minutes to talk really quick, but it's been about 6 months since we've been on a show together, and usually Susan Price is with us. She wasn't able to be with us today. She would love to be here, but you guys are in for a really, really, really big download of information that the Lord has been literally drenching me with. It's like, you can be in the river with the Lord, but when you get rained on, when outside the womb, she completed everything that we had agreed to.
Wow. Wow.
And I know I was probably being selfish. Yeah. Because I wanted to be with him. But there's work to do. And he needs us here to do it. So, that's why that checkout mentality isn't correct. God doesn't want us. He isn't doing all this so we can check out. No, we're going to check in with him every single day. Because he told me, I said, Father, with all this, because a lot of people are so worried about it being, too much pressure or stress on them to have a humanitarian project. I said, Father, how much time, am I going to have to spend? And he goes, 62.5%. And I went, oh, that's better than 100.
Right?
Right. Yeah. And he goes, no, Dave, you got it. You misunderstood. You and I are going to spend 62.5% of the time together, and you're only going to have to work on this 37.5% of the time. Okay. And I went, hallelujah. That works with me because that's what I wanted. I want to get up. I want to be with him on his agenda, leaning into him, finding out direction, because as we do that in the beginning, we're going to receive more of that direction when we're out and about. So it isn't going to require as much time, even though we're going to yearn for it. And it could come to where we've been really, really busy in a season and haven't had a lot of time to do that. But there isn't a moment that goes by where we just can't say, Father, thank you. I just love you so much. I just give you all the praise and thanksgiving for having taken care of everything. Already knowing what we need. Thank you. And that's it. You go about your day.
And Dave, you had mentioned earlier that the Chinese elders are helping us. It almost sounds like these are benevolent beings that came from nowhere. Do you know who these Chinese elders are?
What I know is the fact that they are part of a faction that goes all the way back to the emperors of China in the beginning.
Okay.
And that I imagine very much like when the Lord appeared to Abraham.
Yes.
What did he say to him? You're not the first. You weren't the first. But you were the one who was available now. And I always thought in my heart that, something in Asia, that there was a love there. But apparently they call them the family's dragons. And apparently they're the white dragon family.
White dragon family. I've heard of them. Yeah.
And there's the black family and the red family and the green family.
Right.
Multicolored. But each one of them kind of had a mandate as to what they're supposed to do.
Mm.
And their mandate was to store up the wealth. And the Asian elders, they own 90 to 95% of the Philippines.
Mm.
And it's documented. There's actually a group that did it on the internet. I think it's called the God Channel.
Mm.
And they proved biblically and with historic records that the Philippines is Eden, Garden of Eden.
Wow. Wow. You
And
know,
they have more gold. They have more gold than Africa.
wow.
And that's why they have the 100 quadrillion tons. They have the access into the world, in the underworld, to the gold. That just keeps recreating itself. See, and then he also showed me that oil is the same way. And I began to post on that. So if all of a sudden the world finds out that gold isn't scarce, oil isn't scarce, what's going to happen with the price?
Oh, it's gonna come down, right?
Right. So we're going to have 35-cent gasoline, and we're going to have $50 to $195 gold.
50 to what? 100.
$50 an ounce
Uh-huh.
is my low target.
Okay.
Could be even as low as 35, which was the value in 1933.
Of gold.
Of gold to
So
as high as.
it'll go up first, right? And then come back down.
No, it's going to go down.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me give you the good news. Okay. Everything shows that. I'm just going to say it. That it's all going to be re-indexed 30 days after Nassar is done.
Okay.
Now I want you to think why. Tex Ritter, who I heard about in 1974,
okay,
said that how are they going to get rid of the mob and the gangsters and the mafia? They were going to turn in their money, right?
Right.
Everybody's going to get a limited time to turn in their money, and there was no way that the gangsters and the mafia could take $3 million and show up at the bank and get it exchanged for the new currency, right? They'd be caught.
Mm.
Well, the Lord told me that there's going to be a very small window of time where everybody can turn in their gold at the price, $1,953.12.5 per ounce for gold. And I haven't completed the calculation for silver because it doesn't matter to me.
But somebody saying I need to go ahead and exchange and trade in my gold. They shouldn't do that right now, should they?
Absolutely.
Oh, they should.
Absolutely.
For silver.
For nothing. Go buy XRP.
Okay. And Dave is the XRP guy. 1 second,
Yeah.
Dave. I just want to bring up that Karen Hughes. She used to work for, was it the World? I can't remember.
World Bank.
World Bank, and she often spoke of the Philippine gold being used to help liberate humanity. And she passed away recently, but I found her some years ago, before I even got into this information. I just saw it, and just found her very fascinating. I think she was a whistleblower, isn't that correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
She, from what I understand, and again, everybody comes from a different place.
Yes.
It was hard for her to separate what was truth and